Good evening and welcome to Adult Conversations on Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families. My name is Sunto Titilayo Ajaman, and I thank you all for joining me this evening, Tuesday the 15th of November 2022. How are you? I hope your day has been great. I hope it has been productive. I hope it has been lovely. I welcome you to Adult Conversations, where we share real-life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Here on Adult Conversations, you give all the advice by contributing on the subject matter without judging. Yes, without judging. Adult Conversations on Women Radio runs from Monday to Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. because we are here to break the culture of silence. So if you have a story and you want us to bring it to the family of Adult Conversations, make sure to send in your story. Send in your story with your name and contact number to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Tonight on Adult Conversations. Tonight on Adult Conversations, my name is Dave. I'm 35 and in love with a 45-year-old woman. I met her almost 3 years ago when I went for my master's abroad. She was a guest lecturer for about 2 weeks and we just hit it off. My parents know I got a job after my master's, so I'm going back to Canada for work. I told my parents about her and her age and everything, but they say she's too old and they don't want a non-Nigerian, so they have refused to bless our union. They want me to marry a girl I dated before I traveled who actually broke my heart and left me for a richer guy. The fact that I'll be away for a number of years till I can return to see my parents makes me want their blessings even more. Do I marry her without their blessing? And this is the question that Dave is asking tonight. Dave is 35. He's in love with a 45-year-old woman. Now, Dave says 3 years ago when he went for his master's abroad, that's where he met this lady in question. She was a guest lecturer at his university, and she was a guest lecturer for 2 weeks at his university, and they just hit it off somehow. And Dave will not be coming back to Nigeria anytime soon because he's going back to Canada for work. He got a job after his master's, so he's going back to Canada he's in Nigeria now, but he's going back to Canada for work very soon. And he has told his parents about this woman and he wants their blessing so that he can get married to her. But they don't want a non-Nigerian, and they also think that she's too old for Dave. So at this point, Dave is asking, so what do I do? They want Dave to marry a girl that he dated before he traveled, and this was 3 years ago that left him. This girl in question broke his heart and left him for somebody with more money. And now David, that I won't be coming back to the country anytime soon, makes me want their blessing even more. Do I marry her without their blessing? And that's what he's asking. So it makes me want their blessing even more. Do I marry her without their blessing? And that's what he's asking. So if from the tone of the message you can understand that Dave is going to marry her either way, but he wants to know whether he should marry her with or without their blessing. What do you think he should do? What do you think that he should do? The number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917 is the number to call. You can also send in a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Now, what do you think that he should do? I'm going to take your calls, but when you call, please make sure to turn down the volume of your radio. Turn the volume of your radio down so that we can hear you and hear you well. Also, please, if you want to join the Adult Conversations Family Group chat, make sure to send in your information. Send in your name and WhatsApp number on WhatsApp to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. So if you're interested, remember to indicate interest in joining the group and you'll be added on. So what do you think that Dave should do? Do you think he should marry the girl that they want him to marry, his ex from 3 years ago that left him? Do you think that's the girl he should still marry? And first and foremost, I want to ask, is that particular girl in question still single? Is she currently single? Then let us know. And let us know why they want you to marry that girl as well. So if you know why, please let us know why they want you to marry her. And let us know if she's actually still single. So maybe she's unavailable. We don't know. But if she is, let us know. Why do you think that this is an issue for Dave? It's an issue because he's going to be out of the country for a while. And you know when you travel like that, before you make it back to the country, it might take a while. So he's saying he wants to marry this person, but he wants his parents' approval. What do you think he should do? Hello, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for calling. All right, call back if you can. The number to call is 07000 917 917. That's the number to call. So go ahead and call in and tell me your thoughts. Advice Dave this evening. He's the one asking for your advice, and he's the one in need of it. So give him some advice this evening. 07000 917 917. What do you think that he should do? It's obvious that his family's blessing to him right now is very important. It's very important. His family's blessing to him is so important. Two reasons why his parents don't want him to marry this lady in question. Number one, they say she's older. They say she's older by 10 years. He's 35, she's 45. So that's an issue for them. Number two, she's a non-Nigerian. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening, thank you for calling. What's your name?
I'm Kola from Mowi.
Okay, alright, Kola, please go ahead.
Yeah, what I can advise you for is that number one, you should go for somebody that her mind really clears. Because the question there is her parent doesn't want to have the hand concerning the person he's talking about. And I find suspicious in that statement he made. Because he said the person has broke his heart already. Then you should explain to her parents, you should explain to his parents that this lady in question has already broken her heart already. Why would her friends say want her to marry a Nigerian lady before? So you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I hear you.
You should tell his parents that this lady they want him to marry. You understand? Has already broken his heart for marrying another richer guy. So if he made his parents to know that they might, reason between.
All right. Thank you so much, Kola. Thank you for calling. So Kola is saying, first and foremost, your parents need to know what the real situation on ground is. They need to know that this young lady that they want you to marry, you dated her. So they may know about your relationship, but they may not know why you broke up. So maybe that's why they're still insisting that you marry her. Let them know that she left you for a richer guy. So I need to clarify, she didn't actually marry the guy. She just left him for a richer guy. Dave will tell us whether or not she's married, and then we'll find out and know and be able to go from there. Personally, I don't think she's married yet, but let's hear from Dave. So, Kola is saying, talk to your parents about it, let them know the true picture. Why would they want you to marry someone that broke your heart? Somebody that left you because you didn't have enough money? Why would they want you to leave the person you love, the person you have found love with, for the person who left you when you didn't? I'm not sure how that adds up. I also feel that there might be something that your parents are not telling you about this particular lady in question. So, what is it? 07000 917 917 is the number to call. And Dave wants to hear from you. What do you think he should do? He wants to marry this lady. this lady that was a guest lecturer in his school, and she's obviously not a Nigerian. She's a guest lecturer in his school, and she's obviously not a Nigerian. She's a Canadian because he met her in Canada. Well, then again, she may not be a Canadian. Anyway, what we know is that she's not a Nigerian. And Dave is in love with her, even though she's 10 years older than he is. So, what do you think that Dave should do? His parents don't want him to marry this particular woman because they think she's older and they don't like the fact that she's not a Nigerian. So, Dave, if you're tuned in, go ahead and tell us the real situation of things. This lady that they want you to marry, the one that broke your heart, do your parents know that she broke your heart? And do they know why? And then, is she single? Is she still single? Yeah, that's actually the more important question. Is she still single? All right. 07000917997 is the number to call. So go ahead and call in and give Dave some advice. What do you think about this one? This one's a bit tricky, but there is no situation that you cannot give advice to, regardless of how deep it sounds. What do you think that Dave should do? 07000917997. We're also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can go on there and watch us and have a good time while you're at it. You can also share the link to other people around you and let them know what you think. Argue about it in your house, but when you do that, please make sure to call as well. Make sure to call in so that I can understand everything that you're saying and I can know your advice for Dave as well. Now, have you been in this situation before? Have you found yourself in this situation before where your parents don't want you to marry somebody that you really love? Maybe because they're older, because they're of a different tribe, or because they're not Nigerian in general. What did you do? What did you do? Did you eventually end up marrying them, or did you eventually break up the relationship for someone else that they would have preferred? What do you think? What did you do? So let's give advice to Dave tonight. 07000917917. What are your thoughts?
This is WFM 91.7.
From you. Take your way president yet. House, 24 total cars, 100 generators, 200 sewing machines, 1,000 rechargeable fans, and 1,000 upon 1,000 other prize them days. Just now, star 611 hash to enter and win inside the Globe Festival of Joy Pro. Buy up to 20,000 naira data. Your lucky side to win brand new house. If you cost the recharge or loan it away cost from 500 naira, go reach 10,000 naira every month to win or every day. New Ojalaga plus other fantabulous prize and feel like your hand. You think you're done bicycle they sleep? Make you dial star 611 hash now and win. Terms and conditions My children are surprises. Adame buys my favorite 3 Crowns milk regularly. And as for Chinedu, that one makes it rain with monthly upkeep. They even plan to take me to Dubai someday.
A trip to Dubai. Buy 3 Crowns milk products worth 2,000 naira. Write a note to say thank you to your mom. Post it on www.3crowns.com.ng and she could be one of the lucky winners to Dubai. Terms and conditions apply. 3 Crowns milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
2023 general election don't come home. Time don't come to move Nigeria forward with our votes. Make we join hands together and vote for better candidates. Candidates when they use women play. Candidates with carry woman matter for head. Women make una get on a permanent voters card. PVC. Make we vote better.
The Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation and Women Radio 91.7 bring you this message.
From you. Take your way president yet. House, 24 total cars, 100 generators, 200 sewing machines, 1,000 rechargeable fans, and 1,000 upon 1,000 other prize them days. Just now, star 611 hash to enter and win inside the Globe Festival of Joy Pro. Buy star 611 hash now to enter and win. Terms and conditions there.
The big question.
I want to see the fact is it pisses me off. We never had a snake and whether Saturn and swallowing money.
Why?
Everything has been crazy.
Controversial and borderline disruptive. The big question.
Mondays to Fridays, 12:05 p.m.
On your women radio, WFM 91.7.
Mondays to Fridays, 12:05 p.m.
On your women radio, WFM 91.7. Political arena.
The largest religious institutions in Nigeria have flourished in enforcing the law and ensuring that members are safe.
For 180 million people, one country, one capital, 36 states, 469 national assemblies, 774 local government areas. This is Nigeria.
We should stop doing this blame game. It's not only fighting for what they're fighting up on it. It's fighting the flag. All them in the flag.
How well do you know the political terrain of Nigeria? Today, there's no such thing as keeping out of politics. All issues are political games, and we are the players. Political arena.
Wednesdays, 11:30 a.m.
On Women Radio,
WFM 91.7.
political arena, politicking at all levels.
I feel that there's some sort of lack of professionalism in this because we're talking about 100 lives. Government has to also put in place a structure to make it look like what they have in mind. How do we stop crime in the society? Because at the end of the day, if a man cannot provide for his wife anymore, he looks for other means. Because we should arrest Nigeria from. Yes, Panorama.
Mondays to Fridays, 9:05 a.m.
WFM 91.7 will bring you ladies from across Nigeria's political zones, dissecting, discussing, and disagreeing on topical issues of the day. You too can join the conversation by tweeting us at WFM 917 with the hashtag Panorama. WFM 91.7, the voice of women.
23 minutes past 6 on Women Radio 91.7, and this is your Adult Conversations, where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. If you're just tuned in, you're welcome, and thank you very much once again for joining us. My name is Sunto Titilayo Ajama, and tonight we're profiling the story of Dave. Dave is telling us tonight that he's 35 and in love with a 45-year-old woman who he met almost 3 years ago when he went for his master's abroad. She was a guest lecturer for about 2 weeks in his school, and they just hit it off. His parents know that he got a job in Canada, the same location that he schooled, and he'll be going back to Canada for work. He's currently in Nigeria. He came to tell them about the lady that he's in love with, spend some time with them. But he's going back to Canada because of work. Now, he has told his parents about her. He has told her age. He's told them her age, and he has told them everything about her and how excited he is to be in love with her. But they're not approving of this relationship. He has also told them that he wants to marry her, but they do not approve. According to them, she's too old, and she's also a non-Nigerian, and they don't like that. They want him to marry his ex-girlfriend, the one who he was dating before he left Nigeria. Now, this particular girlfriend in question, according to Dave, actually broke his heart by leaving him for a richer guy. So at the end of the day, Dave is like, this is the situation. Now, I don't know if he has told them this, so we've asked that question already to Dave, but we're yet to get a response. Dave is saying the fact that he'll be away for a number of years before he comes back to Nigeria makes him want them to approve of this his relationship more than ever. It makes him want their blessing even more. Now at this point they haven't approved, they don't approve, and he doesn't know what to do. So he's asking, what do I do? Do I marry her without their blessing? Do I marry her without their blessing? Now, according to what Dave sounds like right now in this message, he doesn't sound like he's even thinking about this other lady in question. He doesn't sound like he's even thinking of his ex at all. He doesn't sound like that's even a consideration for him. To him, it's like this lady, this my current girlfriend, the one who's 45 years old, or nobody else. Because the question he's asking is, do I marry her without their blessing? So to him, it's probably I marry her with their blessing or without their blessing. He's not even thinking about this other lady. Now I have to ask, Dave, why do they want you to marry this particular lady? Is she like a family friend? They have business together, and do they think that if you marry her, maybe it would progress the interests of both families? Do you think that this might be one of the reasons, or one reason that links both families together, and why they want you to marry this particular girl? And that's one. Why do they want you to marry her? Number two, do they know that she broke up with you and left you for a richer guy? Do they know that? Do they know? Number three, is this lady in question your ex? Is she still single? Is she still single? Number four, are you still open to exploring a relationship with this girl? Now, the reason I had to ask this final one is because if his parents really say no and he's not strong enough to go against their wishes, would he be okay with settling for this other lady? Is that a reality that he can come to terms with? So these are the 4 questions. I'm hoping I can remember all 4 of them as I go on in the program. But what do you think? What do you think he should do? What decision do you think that he should make at this point? This is a very tricky one, because the reason, according to Dave, why he really wants the approval is because he knows he's not going to be coming back to Nigeria anytime soon. He's not coming back to Nigeria anytime soon. He just completed his master's, he stayed for a bit, he got a job, and he's back to the country to, see his parents again, but he's going back to Canada for work. And when he goes back to Canada, he might not be coming to Nigeria in another 3-4 years, maybe. So it might take a while. And he probably wants to marry this 45-year-old woman now. So at this point, and let's bear in mind that they've been together for a while. They've been together for at least a minimum of about 2 years, because he said he met her almost 3 years ago when he went for his master's. So let's say they've been together about 3 years. That's not a short-term relationship. That's a long-term relationship. And the fact that he hasn't married her probably means that he wanted his parents' approval before doing it. He wanted them to bless the union. So that seems to be a little bit difficult to get, because his parents are not in agreement. Number one, they say auntie is too old. Number two, they say that auntie is non-Nigerian. The other auntie now, where they want me Dave marry, that one don't break Dave's heart before. But I don't know whether his parents then may say this other auntie where they want make Dave marry don't break her heart before. They still don't know. So as Kola Talk, what she called before, Kola Talk said, tell your parents. If they may say the person where they want make you marry don't break your heart before, they feel understand say, when I don't try, it no work. So maybe they will call a reason and say, at least you don't try, it no work. Make we focus on this one where you bring come. So what do you think? 07000-917-917 is the number to call. Dave wants to hear from you. So what do you think that he should do? What do you think he should do? Has this been your reality before, or the reality of someone you know? How do they fight this? How do they play this? How do they approach this situation? Because it's one thing to want your family's approval, to want your parents' approval, and it's another thing to have the mind. And I say mind because this mind, maybe small mind, or it's another thing to have the mind to be able to say whether or not they don't agree this marriage, I go still marry this guy, or I go still marry this babe, because this one a babe now. You get that kind of mind, you get Hello, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name, please? Your name is what? Raphael from Ikorodu. All right, Raphael. What do you think? It happened to you. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Raphael. I'm so sorry about the situation. Are you still married?
No, by now, I have to.
Okay, the marriage didn't work out. Okay, I'm so sorry, Raphael. I couldn't get the rest of the story because I could barely hear you at that point. There was a lot of background noise from before, but I could squint and I could strain my ears to hear a bit. But after that, I could barely hear anything. Raphael is saying, whatever the case, don't marry the lady who broke your heart. He's saying that whatever the case, that the one thing we used to try. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Please, I will advise this to go and pray very well. Let's just go and pray. Prayer is the most important thing concerning future of all man's life. Okay?
All right.
That's my contribution.
Thank you. Please, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
From Abimbola.
Abimbola from Mali. Thank you so much. Abimbola is saying that prayer is the most important thing that will guide you in your choice of a future partner. So Abimbola is saying that Dave should go and pray about this. He should go and pray about it and then hear from God and then make a decision. At the end of the day, it will shock you. Now, I don't even know why I'm saying this, but I'll say it anyway. It will shock you that lady that broke his heart is actually the person that he's supposed to be with. You know, somebody said one day that God has a sense of humor. But I also take that to mean that God's ways are not our ways. So you don't know how it all played out. And then if you ask this lady that broke his heart, is she going to say that she left Dave because he wasn't rich? Or did something happen in that relationship that Dave doesn't want us to know? Hello, good evening. Good evening. Who am I speaking with? Young? I'm fine, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm alright. Thank you for calling.
Right. Okay. There are some questions you asked Dave. There are some additional information you requested for.
Yes, I haven't
Let you provide those information, then we know what to say about this. Because this thing is somewhere complicated. We cannot say, okay, go on and like the question you asked, is there any reason why the parents want him to go for someone that broke his heart? What is the reason behind that? Does it mean that they didn't know? Are they not aware that this girl dumped their son for another richer person? So why do they want him to marry her? Why do they want them to come together again? So there's a reason behind that, and if you let them provide the reason, then we know what to advise him.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My case until I hear from him.
Understood. All right. That is Young asking for further information, just like I am as well. So, Dave, please don't keep us waiting. Let us know what the answers to this question is. So, number one, I'm hoping I remember all four of them. So, number one, I'm asking this young lady that they want you to marry, your ex, is she still single? That's number one. Two, do your parents know that she broke up with you? She broke your heart. She left you for a richer guy. Do they know all of that story? Number three, is there any particular reason why you think your parents want you to marry this lady in question? Is there one reason that is, maybe you don't know, maybe they haven't spelled it out directly, but is there any reason that you think that they want you to marry her for? And or if they've told you, then please just tell us what they've said, why they want you to marry her. And the fourth question, if they really say no, and they say that they don't want you to marry this lady, and you cannot find it in your heart to go against their wishes, will you still be open to the relationship and the marriage eventually with this your ex? Now, these are the 4 questions, and I'm hoping to get a response to this. This is Adult Conversations on Women Radio 91.7.
Keep it loud. Keep it loud. Free radio live. Wow. That's WFM 1.7. We go live.
Have you been a victim of corruption? Do you want to report how corruption affects you and your community? Send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537.
Generator, 200 sewing machine, 1,000 rechargeable fan, and thousand upon thousand other prize them days. Just now star 611 hash to enter and win inside the Globe Festival of Joy Pro. Buy up to 20,000 naira data. Your lucky side to win brand new house. If you cost to recharge or load data when cost from 500 naira, go reach 10,000 naira every month to win or every day. New on Jalaga plus other fantabulous prize and feel like your hand here. You think you're done bicycle they sleep? Make you dial star 611 hash now to enter and win. Terms and conditions there. 2023 general election don't come home. Time don't come to move Nigeria forward with our votes. Make we join hands together and vote for better candidates. Candidates wey no dey use women play. Candidates wey carry woman matter for head. Women make una get una permanent voters card PVC. Make we vote better.
Now, Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation and Women Radio 91.7 bring una this message. Bishirin kuma uwana mata, ke ma'aikaciya ce ko ɗaliba ko mai sana'a ko manomiya ko ƙwarira mai sana'a cikin gidanta domin kuwa dama ta samu yariyar mata wato Women Radio ta tanadar muku da ƙungiya na masu sana'a iri daban-daban a duk jihohin da ke Najeriya. Ƙungiyar rediyon mata na matuƙar kulawa da harkokin mata domin ganin cewa mata masu sana'a sun samu karɓuwa da ci gaba a cikin al'umma ta hanyar tallata musu hajojinsu ba tare da biyan ko naira ba. Ko kuma ku shiga shafinmu na wannan ƙungiya a Facebook. Idan kuka kasance mamladin wannan ƙungiyar akwai kyauta daga labarsa da ake samu a duk ƙarshen wata. Domin samun wannan kyauta sai ku yi download da ɗin app ɗinmu domin samun sauraron mu a kowane lokaci a duk inda kuke. Ku kasance da rediyon mata. Plenty women dey talk say abba shey me go still come cook food this 10 o'clock wey I just dey return from work upon say this man don dey house since 6 o'clock. Wetin woman no go see for Naija market na so woman look me face tell me say madam abeg pack that certificate for corner na housewife fit you. Imagine my sisters wetin dis men want sef na food respect abi na love. Me for like no because we don tire. Respect kwa love one thing. On top the program na woman matter we dey gist every matter wey concern women whether na inside life matter, relationship talk, political yarn, business or women health matter. E dey brekete for ground every Wednesday 3pm for your ogbonge Women Radio 91.7. na woman matter na every for here. Think you know current affairs? Are you a guru in mathematics? Can you name all the countries in the world? Is your pronunciation or spelling top notch? Revolution School on Women Radio WFM 91.7 is a program that takes you on a learning ride into the world of English, mathematics, arts, and much more. Radio School Thursdays 3 or 5 p.m. Radio School is supported by City of Knowledge Academy.
20 minutes to 7 on Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families. It's great to have you here, and thank you for still staying tuned in. And if you're just joining us, you're welcome to where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. You're welcome to Adult Conversations. My name is Simto Titilayo Ajama, and tonight we're profiling the story of Dave. I'm going to read the story as sent in so that we can have all the adequate information that we need, pending when I get additional information. Now, Dave is 35, and according to him, he is in love with a 45-year-old woman. He met her almost 3 years ago when he went for his master's abroad. She was a guest lecturer at his university for about 2 weeks, and somehow, they just hit it off and things were good with them. Now, Dave's parents know that he got a job back in Canada, and he's taken the job, so he'll be going back to Canada for work. But he's currently in Nigeria, and he's told his parents about the woman he wants to marry, the woman he's in love with, everything about her, but they don't approve of their union. They don't approve of the relationship, and they don't want him to get married to her. They want him to marry somebody that he dated before he traveled, who ended up breaking up with him and leaving him for a richer guy. Dave literally says in the story that she broke my heart and left me for a richer guy. Now, Dave's parents don't want him to marry this lady in question, this woman, because she's older. She's 10 years older than he is, and she's a non-Nigerian, meaning she's not Nigerian. Now, they don't want that, and they want him to marry his ex. So he has said, it's going to be a while before I come back to Nigeria, and this is the main reason why I want my parents to bless this marriage. So he's asking, do I marry her without their blessing? Do I marry her without their blessing? Oh, okay. All right. Incoming message from Dave. And Dave is saying, yes, they know about the fact that she broke up with him, but they don't know why she broke up with him. And then he's also saying that she's currently single because he heard this from his mother. He's also saying he's not open to another relationship with her. She was a cool person, but she really hurts him. And then the final question as regards whether what was the last one? Question as regards whether what was the last one again? Do you know if she's in a relationship? Are you open to a relationship with her? Do your parents know why she broke up with you? And there was a fourth one. I don't remember. But these are what he has sent in so far. Yes, they know about the relationship and they know that she broke up with him, but they don't know why. Yes, she's currently single. He heard that from his mom. And three, I already said she's currently single. He heard that from his mom. And yeah, that's majorly the important part of this story that we need to know. So he's not open to a relationship with her anymore because she really hurt him after walking away the first time. Now this particular one doesn't really tell me that Dave is over this person. I don't know, but I'll let you decide. What do you think about this one? The questions that I asked earlier was that, do your parents know why she broke up with you? Oh yes, the fourth one is there any particular reason why you think your parents want you to spend time and actually marry this person? So he didn't respond to that. I will need that answer though. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, thank you.
Young.
Yes, all right. I want to say thank you today for responding to this question. Now, what I want to suggest to him is this. Your parents know that you broke up with this girl, but they didn't know why. They're in love with her already. Let them understand why you broke up with her. And for the same reason, if you marry her, she may still dump you for another richer guy in Canada if you eventually take her to Canada. Because there are people who are richer than you there also. So let them understand your emotion, let them understand your feelings, let them understand why you did what, or why you are doing what you are doing now. They have to understand. You don't just keep them in the dark and then send them to give you their blessings. It doesn't work that way. You, Dave, will not do that. So you have to let your parents know why you are leaving that girl. Not that you didn't love her, not that you don't want to marry her again, but because of what she did. Yes, she's let them understand that she's unfaithful. And that you cannot marry that. And I am convinced that no parent will want their children, or their son especially, to marry such a woman. So, make everything clear to them and they will give you their blessing.
All right. Thank you very much, Young. Thank you. And the last line that Young left with is the truth. So he's saying, make everything clear to them and they would give you their blessing. Make everything clear to them and they will give you their blessing. He's basically saying, rather than keep some things away from them as regards how that other relationship ended, your previous one, the one to the girl that they want you to marry, then let's be going on. Let them know why she broke up with you. Oh, and yes, she broke up with him, not the other way around. She broke up with him and left him for a guy that had more money. But now she's single. She's single again, and now his parents want him to marry her. So he's of the opinion that she broke my heart and she left me for someone richer. I moved on and I found someone better. But now this someone better is older. And she's not Nigerian. His parents don't like that. So what are your thoughts? What do you think that he should do? Young is saying just be open with them and let them into your space so that they can give you proper advice and they can actually see through your lens as well. No parent wants what is not right for their child. So even sometimes when our parents make mistakes, they make those mistakes from a place of love. It took me a while to understand this because, there were a lot of grievances I was holding against my parents for one reason or another. But the older you get, then that sometimes they make decisions from a place of ignorance. Maybe they don't know what they thought they knew, or what they thought they knew was the best knowledge to them at that point in time. And because that was the best knowledge to them, they felt that was the best thing for you at that point in time. So if your parents are thinking that this girl is the best girl for you, then you should probably let them know that maybe she's not the best girl for you. Maybe she's a great person. She's just not great for you. They only know her probably from the context of maybe she's a family friend, maybe they've seen her with you and they saw how happy you both were, so they think that she will make you happy again. And maybe she will make you happy, but you just are not in love with her anymore, and they need to know that. So you said you're not even open to a relationship because she really hurt you, so that chapter is over. But his parents are still saying no to the relationship. So what do you think? What do you think he should do? 07000-917-997 is the number to call. You can send in a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0703-175-6537. A Square Cakes and More from Matogo Okearu is saying, my own advice to you, dear Dave, is to be patient. As for me, age matters in relationships. She's way older than you as a woman, and there are so many other things to consider as regards this age issue. If you do not want to marry your parents' choice of a Nigerian woman, there are a good number of Nigerian ladies in Canada. Just go about your normal business over there, and with time, you would find someone, and you will definitely come across them. I even hailed the woman that wants to marry you with your age difference, and this is probably because she's not Nigerian, and more so, maybe not an African. And that's coming from A Square Cakes and More from Matogo Okearu. So I do have to say this, though. Aside the fact that she's not a Nigerian, some Nigerian women don't care about the age. Let's be very honest. Most people do. Most women do. They're very opposing, let me put it that way, they're very opposing to marrying men that marriages are not working. Some of them are African. Call me back if you can. 07000-917-917. Dave wants to hear from you. What do you think he should do? What decision do you think he should make? Now, this old Japa contest is the real issue here. He's traveling abroad. He's staying abroad because he's going to work there. And he's met someone that he loves. He wants to stay there and work there and make a living. And this person is who he wants to do it with. And because he knows he's not coming back to Nigeria anytime soon, he's hoping that his parents would approve of their marriage. So all the nitty-gritty of whether they will attend, whether they will do traditional Nigerian marriage, all that information, not important right now. What is important now is that his parents don't approve. His parents are not blessed he should do. What do you think that he should do? So I had to mention the subject about the relationship and the fact that not all women care that their men are younger. Yes, there are other things that could come into play. You know, the respect factor is a big deal for Nigerian men, which is why they like dating women that are younger than them, so that they can, assert themselves as men, and the respect factor can come in seamlessly. The woman feels obliged to respect the man, not only because he's a man, not only because he's her man, but also because he's older, because of the respect factor. So you're always inclined to respect your partner. But Nigerian men, African men maybe, like to date women that are younger because the respect comes easier. You expect respect and it comes easier because you're older. But some women really just don't care about that. And Dave's current girlfriend doesn't care about that. Personally, I don't think it's important to know whether she's African or non-African. He has said that she's not a Nigerian, and that is all that matters. I'm not sure if it's important to know whether she's white or she's black. So I'm not really sure that that's important. But what do you think? What do you think he should do? And that's the most important question tonight. Dave is saying, do I marry her without their blessing? Do I marry her without their blessing? Now, think about it. If he marries her without their blessing, he's going to be marrying her out of the country. They're not going to know about it. They're probably going to do a court wedding, do something civil. And when I say civil, in terms of space and all, everything will just be small, maybe a garden reception, just something light. They're not going to drag it or do anything overly Nigerian, because they don't want to make noise. And besides, Dave is just starting out in a new country. Things are not going to be very easy, so he's still finding his footing. But it doesn't mean that this woman who has been there will not help him out. It just means that there are other things that they're thinking of. So that means that if they don't approve, high chances are that his parents will not be invited to that wedding. Now, if they do approve, then there are higher chances that he can fly his parents in, or they can come to Nigeria to do the wedding. So if they don't approve, then not only will he not see his parents for a while, but he might not see his parents for a really long while. And the only opportunity to see his parents, which will be the wedding, they won't be able to take it because they don't approve of the wedding. 7,917-9 was the number to call. Go ahead and send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703-175-6537. What are your thoughts on this one? Have you experienced something like a man that was older, or did they marry the woman that was older? And what did the parents say? Did the parents not approve at the beginning but later approved, maybe when the children started coming? Or what exactly happened? So just let us know. Let us share in your story, and you can also give advice to Dave as well. 07000-917-917 is the number to call, and send a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703-175-6537. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
William George.
All right, William. Thank you for calling. All right, go ahead.
The only thing I can advise is, I was once a bit. If I was not there, listen to my now. let David talk about the girl in Nigeria because that girl himself he doesn't love him, he loves money. So what I can advise, make David go and look for another young girl because age is very important. It's better for a man to older than a woman to older than the husband.
Why?
So let David forget about the Weibo lady and forget about this one in Nigeria. Let him tell the parents what caused their separation.
Okay.
That is the only thing that he should do away from two of them. Let him look for a fresh girl to marry, a young girl.
Okay.
Because
So,
tomorrow will see that lady, a young girl.
okay.
Because
So,
tomorrow will see that lady that is older than him. He will still like to go and look for a young girl outside. So let him senior his own wife, not his wife to senior him. It's wrong.
okay, hold on. I can understand when you said he might now step out on the marriage and go and look for another younger girl later in future.
Yes.
I can understand that, but don't say it's wrong. It's not wrong. There's no rule that says the man must be older.
My sister, let me tell you, woman sometimes always grow older than man.
And there's no argument then. My point is, there is no rule. It is not written in our constitution or in the Bible or anywhere that the woman has to be old. I mean, that the man has to be older. So don't say it's wrong. I can understand your reasons, but don't say it's wrong because it's not wrong.
Tomorrow, if you tell these bad guys, tomorrow you will see.
It's not wrong. I hear what you're saying, but don't say it's wrong. There's no absolute here. All right. So thank you very much. The lady at the first hand, that's the one that he wants to marry, is older than he is. And William George thinks that that's a bad idea because the man must be older. That it's better off for the man to be older because the woman ages faster. And years into the marriage, he would also want to go for somebody, he would have eyes for other people or somebody who's younger. So why not just marry, why not just start out marrying someone who's younger? And then for the other lady, he's saying, of course, that won't break your heart, so that one is completely out of the game. But pick somebody else who is a Nigerian and younger, and then your parents should be okay with that. Alright, call back if you can. 07000 917 Another issue with age here, and let's be honest, and please let's not try to be, let's be very cautious about that. So, one moment. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello, are you there?
Hello.
Good evening, thank you for calling. What's your name, please? Okay, Alamde, I'm going to need more volume from you. Where are you calling from, Alamde? Alright, I knew that was going to happen. Call back if you can, Alamde. Call back if you can. Alright, so what are your thoughts on that? Do you agree with William George, who is saying just marry somebody else? Somebody else. And, that's also what I believe Esquire Tamo from Martin Mukere is saying in her message, that woman is way older, and of course if you don't want to marry your parents' choice, then marry another good Nigerian girl in Canada. They should be okay with that. But he doesn't love any other good Nigerian girl in Canada. He loves this woman. That's the person he loves. Doesn't that count for some? Should age be such a big issue that there's no way forward in their union? Now, what I was going to say concerning the age factor, she's 45, he is 35. That age difference may not matter if he were 45 and she was 35. As a matter of fact, not may not. That age difference will not matter at all if it was the other way around. The only way it will matter is for women specifically who don't like to marry men that older. Maybe they just want to marry between 3 to 5 years difference, or 3 to 6 years difference. They're not okay with like 10 years, 15 years and all of that. But that doesn't make it wrong. So in William George's word, he said it's wrong. But I'm coming to you today and I'm literally saying it is not wrong for a woman to marry a man who's older. And it's not wrong for a man to marry a woman who is older. There is no crime there at all. Now, the issue here, what might be an issue, what's a big issue going forward, is the fact that at 45, if they've not started their life together at 45, it might take a while for her to have children when the time is right. So now, she's 45 now, as at 2022. If they still don't agree to this marriage, 2020 is wrapping up. So in 2023, she's going to be 46. Maybe if they get married in 2023, then she'll be 46 then, and then children might be an issue. Again, because of menopause, not because there's anything wrong with her biologically, or not because she can't have children, but because menopause might set in early. And if menopause sets in around this time, then it will be even more difficult to have children. Now, please don't say there's nothing God cannot do, because I know about that. I'm very much aware that there's nothing God cannot do. But in terms of medical expertise, in terms of medical knowledge, you're advised to have children earlier than that, so that when you get to menopausal age, you're not thinking of children at that point. Hello, good evening. Hello?
Hello?
Good evening.
Hello, Doctor.
Dorcas, I need you to speak louder, please. I need you to speak louder. I need volume, please. If I can't hear you, then I don't know how we can have this conversation. Can you be louder? All right, Dorcas, where are you calling from? Okay. Dorcas, what do you think about the story?
I have a question.
Okay.
I do women marry younger men? I do women marry younger men?
Why do women marry
Young men.
Why do women marry young men?
Yes.
Because they're men, they're not men. They marry them because they love them and they are men. Why do women marry older men? Is that somewhere you're going with the question? Is that somewhere you're going with the question, so that I can understand where you're coming from? That's I'm not really sure what line of thought that she was directed at or going towards. So if you can call back and let's really clarify that. I'm not sure why the question. Why do women marry younger men? Why can't women marry younger men? Why don't women marry younger men? I'm not really sure. I don't know how to answer that. Younger men are men, like older men. They're men. Yes, there's some societal and there's some obvious differences when you marry an older man, or when you marry a man within your age range, or when you marry a man that's younger. There are different benefits to all three of them, but it doesn't mean that there should be any particular reason not to marry a younger man but to marry an older man, or not to marry an older man but to marry a younger man. Man at the end of the day, it all depends on the woman's preference. So 07000 917 917 is the number to call. Tell me what you think and give Dave some advice tonight. Tell me what you think and give Dave some advice tonight. All right, this one is coming from Precious from Ogun State. Precious is saying, please try and listen to your parents. They have their reasons. The age difference is a bit much. Okay. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. And your name and where you're calling from.
Good evening. My name is Latifa. I've been listening to your program for a while now. This is my first time calling you.
Hey, Latifa, thank you for calling. This matter. Well, let me give you a wrong. Thank you for calling. All right. Thank you so much, Latifa. What do you think?
Okay. So, pertaining to the first lady, you should just be, as other than mentioned, you should just explain to experience the reason for the separation, the reason why she broke up with him, and why he also broke up with her too. Then the second lady, as per being an African, most African parents might not particularly Nigerian, might not approve their son marrying a younger lady, though my religion is not only against that. So far they are both matured enough. So if he tries to convince them and they do not agree with him, it should, because their major concern might be ability of the lady to be able to conceive. Because they might be, yes, you've mentioned it too, because of the age factor. Yes. The age is close to menopause. And to give respect, though the woman is not an African, so even if she's older, you need to expect what matters as respect from her. So if he can clear that part for them, or we don't know if he doesn't plan to have a child or something, but he can clear that part of assuring them that the woman is medically fit and they can both be together and have children. Then I think they might agree with him. But if they don't still agree with him, then they might need to get another person, because family first. Family is very important. He has known the parents before the woman. I think for him to be able to uphold the relationship between him and his parents, he might need to break up with the woman if they do not agree with him and explain to us. So I told you as if they both ladies at
all right. Thank you for calling, Latifa. Thank you very much for that. Very good point. So Latifa says it's a bit tricky because the other lady broke up with him and then he needs to explain that to his parents. He also needs to let them know if they've been through medical tests and all of that. So if she's certified okay when it comes to fertility and all of that, if she's still fertile, she can still have children, then he should let his parents know that that's not a concern if that's what they're worried about. But if his parents know that and they're still not okay with it, if he wants to keep and sustain the relationship he has with his parents, he might need to break up with her to marry somebody else completely. All right, call back if you can. This is actually a very tricky one because honestly speaking, the happiness of Dave is very important. But at the same time, you cannot fault the fact that family is also important. Family is so important. What do you think? Hello, good evening. Hello? Oof. Hello, good evening. Oh, thank you very much. Much better. What's your name?
My name is Ibekele.
Ibekele, where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Montgomery.
Okay. All right, Ibekele, please go ahead. What do you think about the story?
I don't know why our parents are like this, especially African parents. I don't know why they like to mislead us. Because this thing has happened to me before. Almost happened to me, but I disagreed with them. But they eventually concur with me. They danced my tune. I told them I pray and I ask God for direction. And God showed me this is the woman I should marry. And they were telling me I cannot marry because she's from Akwa Ibom, and me and me. They were like, I was like, no. Even when I was going for a traditional marriage, I did not inform any one of them. So I just got, but me and I just got misleading me last time like that. I had to go into music. That is my passion. They were telling me, man, go to school, go and study back now. Now we feel back now. No job. Now music, that's where everything is now. And I'm back to music now. So I will not listen to them anymore. I'll just pray to God. What God told me to do, I just like to do. So it is. And when I want to marry my wife, I don't inform them. They will disagree that we will not play so. I thought God has already prayed for me and God accepted it. And my problem is about God. You are a caretaker. You're not like God. You brought me to this life to take up for me. And at the end of the day, I look like I account for the life and for everything. They are not the right God. So I'll talk to my God to receive what I pray and I study. I am my wife who pray for everything. They are not the right God. So I'll talk to my God to receive what I pray and I study. I am my wife who pray. She told me that we are compatible with together. And that we are compatible with together. And I'll go to a court of traditional marriage and not everybody. I told only one of my aunties, what else you understand me? So no,
Did she go with you?
she didn't go. Then to go to where I was looking for my Chinese married, they did not go.
No, I'm talking about the
my
auntie. Did the auntie you told, did she end up going with you?
auntie,
Yes.
actually, when I wanted to go and collect this, when I went down, I think from the side, I auntie. So when I collected it, I came back, I showed them. So the now people outside, I report them and I give the office to give blessing. Yeah, I'm going to arrange for it. So when they had let me have so when I had a husband arrangement, so they have to succumb, they have to call. Okay, you know, the previous pay for him. Pay for him, really go, just be to see him off. But I'm not telling you to do because he's my sure, he's not to be. He's not the way he wants to marry and now convincing him. So, pray for him and let him go and just be care for us.
So exactly, what's your advice? Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you so much.
My advice for you is you should go ahead. Regardless of maybe they want to bless you or they don't want to bless you, you should go ahead. I'm very sure that his parents, not just that this man is serious, they will succumb to his own, they'll come and dance to his too. They don't have a choice. But people will happy. And don't go ahead. You don't do things like
so much.
Don't think it's apple. If it's apple, the local part thing, it's not what it can't be able to say it, and it's not my soft and why do you need institutional?
Absolutely.
And the matter come and say it to your family, it can't be able to say it, and it's not my soft and why do you need institutional?
Absolutely.
And the matter come and say it to your family, I'm going to do my life. No.
Thank you so much, Bekele. Thank you very much for calling and taking the time to share your story as well. I really appreciate that. So this is basically what I was trying to say earlier. Your parents are doing the best that they can with the best knowledge that they have. So if they're saying, I don't think this is right for you, they're saying, I don't think this is right for you based on the perspective that they have of that situation at that point in time. Now, I mentioned at that point in time because that point in time can change any time. It can change anytime. Though yes, they might have a little bit of pride, they might not want to talk to you about it anymore, even if they've changed their mind, yada yada yada. But at that point in time, they think they know what's best for you and they're advising you based on that. Now, according to Ebekele's story, you can tell that they wanted him to study banking and finance in school, which he eventually ended up studying, only to not get a job after school, and then he had to revert music, which he originally wanted to study in the first place. Now I understand. I mean, if a parent says, I don't want you to study music, they probably know why they're saying that. But music is a whole different ball game in today's world, and Bekele is saying that's what he's now doing, that's paying his bills. So maybe if he had done something professional around it, he would have been making money earlier, and he would have been in a better place in his life right now. Now, with regards to Bekele's wife, his parents didn't want him to marry her as well because she was from Akwa Ibom. Now, he's married to her and he's in a happy marriage. He's happy, he's good. He's thankful that he made that choice, particularly because he heard from God as well. They both had confirmation that they were the ones that God wanted them to be with. He from God, she from God. And at the end of the day, that's their choice. But his parents didn't want to see that because all they saw was Yoruba boy marrying Akwa Ibom girl. And they're like, nope. We don't want this, we don't like this, and no to this. But at the end of the day, that's what worked. Do you think this might be the case with James? What do you think about the story? The other day, that's what worked. Do you think this might be the case with James? What do you think about the story? Yes, she's older. She's 45, he's 35. It's a big issue. But does that really change the face of their relationship? Does that really mean that love will not rule at the end of the day? What do you think? 07000-917-917 is the number to call. It's 14 minutes past 7. And if you're just tuning in, I'm going to read the story just so that you can get the full brief. My name is Dave. I'm 35 and in love with a 45-year-old woman. I met her almost 3 months ago when I went for my master's abroad. She was a guest lecturer for about 2 weeks and we just hit it off. My parents know I got a job after my master's, so I'm going back to Canada for work. I told my parents about her and her age and everything, but they say she's too old and they don't want a non-Nigerian, so they don't want to bet on. They want me to marry a girl I dated before I traveled, who actually broke my heart and left me for a richer guy. The fact that I'll be away for a number of years till I can return to see my parents makes me want their blessings even more. Do I marry her without their blessing? Now this one to marry is currently single. She's no longer with that richer guy. She's currently single, and Dave doesn't want to go back to her because she really hurt him. And his parents know that she broke his heart, but they still want her to marry him. What do you think about the story tonight? Alright, kindly call back if you can. 070917917 is the number to call. What do you think that Dave should do? What do you think he should do? He's saying, do I marry her without their blessing? The biggest issue with the age factor here is the fact that she may not be able to have children when it's time, because she might hit menopause soon. And if she hits menopause soon, then that means that she won't be able to have children. And that might be a big challenge for Dave's family, particularly because their son is 35. And so they're thinking, my darling, give us grandchildren. And that might not happen if she hits menopause early and she can't have children. So this is why Latifa is saying, if you've done all the relevant medical tests and she's certified fertile and she can still have children for the next foreseeable future, then it's better to let your parents know that if children are the problem, they shouldn't worry about that because she can still have children. But if not, they should tell you why. Or according to them, their reason is because she's older and she's a non-Nigerian. So they don't like the fact that he's marrying outside of Nigeria. They're not okay with that. What do you think? What do you think he should do? Jayus from Songwater is saying, my advice to him is to sit his parents down. Many Nigerian parents are very, very hard to deal with. But no matter what, they're still our parents. And every child knows he's our parent's weak point. Try to use it. I had a similar issue. I married someone older than me, and today I'm thanking God that I married her. Goes back to what I was saying. Sometimes the parents think they know what is best, but in reality, maybe they really don't. Maybe they really don't. So James is saying he actually married someone older than he, and he's enjoying his marriage. So he's advising that Dave sit his parents down and really speak to them, really appeal to their weak points, whatever those are, and let them know what he thinks and why he wants to marry this woman. Ceci from Otebayo, or Ceci Otebayo from Agopasway, Lagos, is saying, going back to your ex-girlfriend is not the best. The reason for this conversation is because you know you need your parents' approval and prayers in the marriage. 10 years different from a female is quite much. If you have to get married to her without your parents' approval, you really need to pray so much, because our parents' prayers does a whole lot when it comes to marriage. And this is coming from Ceci Otegbayo from Agopaswe, Okota, Lagos. Yes, I agree. Our parents' prayers go a long way in our lives in general. It doesn't start or end with marriage. In our entire lives, from the moment we're born to the moment we die, our parents' prayers go a long way in our lives. So Ceci is saying, let them know about it. And if they still don't agree, you really need to pray. You need to pray even harder than you typically would need to pray, because you don't have the backup or the backing. It's more like backing. You don't have the backing of your parents' prayers. That's what she's saying. So Ceci is saying, don't go back to your ex-girlfriend. Don't do that. But 10 years difference from a female is much. To a large extent, you might be right. 10 years difference from a female might actually be much, but it doesn't make it impossible. It doesn't make it impossible. People are doing it. People have been doing it. People will keep doing it as long as the woman and the man in question are okay with it. If this is where this man has found love, if this is where Dave has found love, then why should age be too much of an issue, particularly if the children aspect of things are fine? And if they're not fine, then that means Dave is on board with not having children. And if he's on board with it, then his parents might need to get on board with it as well. It's a very tricky one, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. 7,917 is the number to call. Go ahead and send in a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. All right. I'm interested in knowing what you think about this one and what are your thoughts. I'll read the number again, 07,917. Send in a text or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 797. Send in a text or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. I'm going to go on Facebook and read some of the messages, and I'll take calls after. Musa Diolua is saying, marry her. Don't worry, when they find out you guys are happy and in a better place, they will bless your marriage. Deba Malthus Sterling Omilani is saying, put it in prayer by committing their hearts to God. Also, let them realize that you find your peace and joy with this woman and not with your ex-girlfriend. I believe with the help of God, they will agree. Probably like says, marry her if you two connect. Then you two will succeed without their blessings. Don't bother about their blessings. Hey, okay. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is John. I'm calling from Mawinya.
Jude or Shemo? I didn't get that correctly.
Hello?
What's your name, please?
My name is Timothy. I'm calling from Mawinya.
Timothy from Moe. Okay. All right, Timothy, go ahead.
What I wanted to contribute about it is when your parents tell you about your union, about your marriage life, from my own thinking, I think there's so much you did not see. They know why they have told you not to do that. I just want to talk about on behalf of the other guy that he said he has IUD. You know, we are not talking about today. Just think about the future. If your parents, what your parents see, if they are inside what they see is a crime mask, you cannot see it. I think, from my own opinion, we should just a little bit to listen to our parents, and again, we should try to get their blessing, to receive their blessing, especially in our wedding days. But every other day in our life, we're supposed to receive their blessing. So that is my own observation. Thank you.
All right, Timothy, before you go, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So are you saying that your parents can never be wrong?
No, you can never say your parents. Sometimes, if they're wrong, in the area they're wrong, you let them know. Try to explain to them. You know, they are in this one before we came. They see more than us. They know more than us. I'm a Yoruba man. I did not marry for my tribe. But I take permission from my parents and then see the reason. We sat down together. Even sometimes we disagree and we agree. So that we should not force ourselves to something they don't like. Sometimes you explain to them, sit them down and talk to them easily. So they will understand why you want
I understand you, Timothy. I'm asking this because some decisions that parents have made for their children did not turn out to be well at the end of the day. And this is not because they didn't want the best. As a matter of fact, they made those decisions because they thought that that was the best thing to do at that time. Now, the fact that that was the best thing to do to them at that time don't make it right. Because the children later suffered for this thing at the end of the day going forward. And they will now be the ones apologizing and saying, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know it would turn out like this. So my question here is, can they be wrong? If they can be wrong, then what if they're wrong in this case? Will you now wait until you've married the person that they chose for you, and until that marriage doesn't now work out, you now have to stay there because they will still advise you to stay there? So what are we really saying at the end of the day? Now, don't get me wrong. If you're tuned in and you're probably thinking, hey, so are you saying that we should not listen to our parents? Absolutely not. That is not what I'm saying. Igbekele said something very important. He prayed about it and he heard from God for himself. For himself. And at the end of the day, he made that decision to go against what his parents wanted because he knew that that was what God wanted for him. Now, whatever the case is with his parents today, it doesn't change the fact that that line of that direction that God wanted for him is what he went with at the end of the day. And like it or not, it's a harsh reality, but God matters more than your parents do. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello? Okay, please call me back if you can. Please call me back if you can. 07000-917-917 is the number to call. You can send in a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0703-175-6537. We're also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at WFM 917, so you can go there, watch the program, send the links to your friends, talk about it, and of course remember to call in. Remember to call in. We want to hear from you. Hello, good evening.
Also, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, please?
My name is Okpe. I'm calling from the top.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for calling. Could you turn down the volume of your radio, please?
Okay, I was listening out. Let me move it. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, much better. Thank you very much.
Okay, I was using my headpiece because I'm driving. Okay, now, maybe one thing is, I am not saying our parents cannot be wrong. In fact, anybody can be wrong and anybody can be right.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, most of the time, our parents think right than we do.
Mm.
And another thing is this, the woman is 45. Now, does the woman have children?
She doesn't have children.
She doesn't have children.
Nope.
So it means she has not given birth before.
Yes.
Has she been married before?
Yes, she was married before.
So why did she have children?
She was married for 6 months before. The man was a domestic abuser.
Oh, 6 months.
Yes.
My advice to you is this. Like I used to say, love is not enough in marriage. And most of the time, a lot of people think they are in love, but they are not. They are actually in love.
You know they've been dating for 3 years, right?
Forget 3 years or how many years.
I needed to mention that because, you know, this
Dating is different from marriage.
Mhm.
And one thing is, do you know women go older faster than men? It is after they get married now. And you begin to say that, oh, this person is going so old fast. That is when you will not start having a thing and be saying, okay, let me go and check if something wrong is outside or something. You need to really think about it very well. I will advise you to think about it very well. Not just think. Hey, ask for direction and also be guided. That is just my own advice. So.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Okwe. Thank you for calling. All right. This goes back to what someone said earlier about prayer being the most important thing, particularly if you're going to go against if you're going to go against the desires of your parents. So Okwe is saying the same thing. If you're going to go against them, then you need to be sure that this is the person for you. Feelings are not everything. Yes, 3 years is a long time, but feelings are not everything. So that's Okwe's point of view. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello, are you there? Can you call back if you can? 07000-917-917 is the number to call. Send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703-175-6537. I'm going to go on Facebook and read some of the other messages, and I'll take more of your calls. Adibet Chidindu is saying it's not about your age or your parents. It's about you and your happiness in your future. If you're sure both of you can make a perfect team to work out all the imperfections, then go for her. Just find out if she's ready and willing. All sincerity and truth, patience and honesty to be there for each other, to encourage and correct her. That's all you need and nothing else. All right, that's an important point of view, basically saying make sure that you're all on the same page. Make sure you've spoken about literally everything before you get married, because it's important. Hello, good evening. Very well, thank you. What's your name, please? Mr. Fatai from Omwele.
I want to contribute to that show. What I would tell that guy that you should be very, very careful, because marriage is not something you can just jump into. You have to think very well and pray and hear from God before you can enter it. If anybody telling you to go and enter it, it's because our parents never important. We should listen to their advice. We cannot ignore our parents' advice and do our own. It's not that I like the one that said what the brother said or say that he wanted from our choir and that. No, we are talking about future. Future is very, very important. And a man of 35 who are married 45 years, and the person that has married before will do what the census laws. Issues everywhere. That's lost. So not put yourself in loss, and the end of the day, and regret of it. You should be very, very careful and be careful. That's my own advice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fatai. Thank you so much. Another person saying prayer is the most important thing. We really can't take that away, for being very honest. You can't take away the place of prayer, particularly because you don't know what the future holds. Only God does. So at the end of the day, if your parents are wrong, time will tell. And if your parents are right, time will tell. And the only way to guard against anything going wrong is for you to have that complete assurance, that complete certainty that that's the person that God himself has said that you should marry. That's the only way that you can stand through thick and thin, because like it or not, even if that's the person you're supposed to marry, you will still face challenges in your marriage. And some of those challenges might be children related, it might be money related, it might be both of you related. Maybe somebody's just unnecessarily angry over something. It might be anything, literally. Complete assurance, that complete certainty, you literally just fade away because you're wondering, why did I even do this in the first place? So I'm going to take this one call and I'll take more messages. Alright, kindly call back if you can. Okay, I'm going to read this one from Chinwe from Ejigbo. Chinwe from Ejigbo is saying, good evening, lady. If you can convince your family because of their blessing that it's okay, then you go on and marry her. But if not, look for another girl and marry. That's what Chinwe is saying. Okay. Hello, good evening. Hello. Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name, please?
My name is James. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Hello, James. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. I want to contribute.
Yes, please.
Something about marriage. Most people are getting it wrong. Marriage is about companionship. It's not about age. Let's forget about age aspect.
Okay.
Marriage is for companionship. If people believe you, if most people believe that marriage is about bearing children. They will say that once you get married and the children, when you not bearing children, you abandon her and go and get another wife. I've seen some people that are very young, they got married, they still have a children issue in their marriage. So it's about bearing children. It's about companionship. Now, So the other side of parents blessing. Today, there's something we call selfish interest.
Okay.
There are some parents, they want to have that mind of, yes, I want my child to get married to this particular person, just like the case of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I want them to think about parents' blessing. Parents' blessing is necessary, but it's not compulsory. That is the fact. If you can convince the spirit to see reason why you want to marry her, I think you should go ahead. But if there is things, we are talking about why tomorrow or next tomorrow, if the person to go and marry that instead, will they come and do the thing? They will not do the thing. If he started having that challenges with that girlfriend or wife,
Yes.
will they be there to gain that challenges quickly? They will not do it. So the problem is, for me, I would advise him to go for his own choice. It's about choice. Marriage is for companionship, not for age or bearing children. If it is about bearing children, I'm saying people who are married for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, the children is not coming, they are still together. But if you put it in mind that I want to get married so that this person should get me child, automatically you are not getting that person as a wife. You are getting that person as a woman to bear the children. It's just like a baby mama or something like that. The person is just staying with you just to bear children with you. And any little thing you can lead to domestic violence. But if you, for companionship, any challenges that you come to that marriage, you are ready to get.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I'm not going to lie, this one tonight it has taken so many different turns. And that's the beauty of adult conversations. That's why we can talk about this as adults and we can share our points of view. Now, James is saying that contrary to what most people think, it's not about marriage. I mean, it's not about marriage. I mean, it's not about children. You don't get married because of children. Children are one of the blessings of marriage. Children are one of the benefits of marriage. Marriage itself is for companionship. So if he knows this, if Dave knows this, and he's still choosing to marry this 45-year-old woman, knowing that chances are that she may not be able to have children for him, then that's a risk that he's willing to take, and then that risk should be respected because that's his decision. Now, I know that his family will want children, they want grandchildren, and what parents doesn't? But at the end of the day, companionship is the most important thing. And then James is saying if they get married for children or they get married to the person that their parents want them to get married to, nobody's going to be there in that marriage except both of them. Now, I know that might sound selfish and that might sound a certain type of way, but a lot of marriages that have ended up badly, some of them are as a result of people who married who their parents wanted them to marry, only to get into the marriage and realize it wasn't all that they thought it was going to be. And these parents are not there in those marriages with them today. They're the ones suffering through it and going through a living hell because they took their parents' advice. Your parents' blessings are necessary, but they're not compulsory. It is so important to listen to your parents, so important. Even the Bible says, honor your father and mother that your days may be long. Now, you can disagree with them. Doesn't mean that you're honoring them any less. So I'm not saying that he should go against his parents, but I'm not saying that he shouldn't either. At the end of the day, it all depends on his level of assurance that this woman is the right person for him. But what do you think about this? This is a very tricky one. There's so many different layers to it, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. This is still Adult Conversations on Women Radio 91.7.
On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Conversations on Women Radio 91.7.
Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. 917. Mr. Johnson, I'm here for my money. Baba landlord, I'm very sorry. My wife is very sick and I have spent all the money I have. I've been telling you to ensure the health of you and your family with a reliable HMO. Reliable HMO? Which of them can I go for? Ice Medicare HMO Limited. They are one of the accredited health maintenance organizations with thousands of quality and accredited healthcare providers nationwide on their network. They have corporate plan, retail plan, student plan, and even community-based health plan. Also, their premium is pocket friendly. Please, where are they located? Their office is located at number 2 Osho Street, Okpebi Link Bridge, off Okpebi Road, Ikeja, Lagos. Their phone number is 080-93-555-863 or 080-3263-9058. Their website is www.ivesmedicare.com. Ives Medicare, health protection in your corners.
My people are hello. Now better levels are coming more closer. Your festival of joy promo. This one is hello, praise the Lord. Fuck from you. They don't let present yet. That's not the for win. 20 brand new house, 24 total new cars, 100 generators, 200 sewing machine, 1,000 rechargeable fan, and 1,000 upon 1,000 other price them days. Just now star 601 hash to enter and win inside the Glow Festival of Joy Pro. Buy up to 20,000 naira data. Your Lavish site to win brand new house. If you cost the recharge or loan data when cost from 500 naira, go reach 10,000 naira every month to win or every day. New or Jalaga plus other fantabulous price and feel like your hand here. You think you're done bicycle they sleep? Make you dial star 601 hash now to enter and win. Terms and conditions there. 2023 general election don't come home. Time don't come to move Nigeria forward with our votes. Make we join hands together and vote candidates when they use women play. Candidates will carry woman matter for head. Women make una get on a permanent voters card, PVC. Make we vote better.
Now, Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation and Women Media Rights 1.7 will bring you this message.
Oh yeah, give the left and right, don't. You think you know Nigeria's biggest tune? It's ready with the plan. Get in the ring on the Big Tune Show every weekday from 4 to 5 p.m. on WFM 91.2. Radio Doctor, your free phone-in health consultation program. Every Wednesday from 10 to 11 a.m. brings you family health.
It was discovered that people who lacking in vitamin D are usually more likely to become depressed.
Call in to get free consultation on family health on 070917917 or 09025625455. You can send in questions, cases, and related contributions on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WFM917. Text and WhatsApp on 0703 175 6537. You can listen live online at www.wfm917.com. Radio Doctor, Nigeria's first free consultation radio health program on WFM 91.7, the voice of women. The big question.
What I see before is it crazy more. We never had a snake and whether Saturn and swallow money.
Why? Everything has been quick. Conversational, controversial, and borderline disruptive. The big question.
Mondays to Fridays, 12:05 p.m.
On your women radio, WFM 91.7.
Minutes to 8 on Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families. If you're just tuned in, you're welcome. And of Dave. And Dave is saying he's 35 and in love with a 45-year-old woman. I'll take that again. He's 35, in love with a 45-year-old woman who he met almost 3 years ago when he went for his master's abroad in Canada. Now, she was a guest lecturer in their university and they just hit it off, and they are 3 years, they've been, almost 3 years together. And he wants to marry her. Now, he has come to Nigeria after his master's to see his parents for a bit, and he has told them about this woman that he loves and wants to spend the rest of his life with. His parents are not in support of their relationship, let alone talk of marriage, because she is older than he is, and she's a non-Nigerian, so they don't like that. Rather, they want him to marry his ex-girlfriend, this particular lady he was dating before he traveled out. This lady in question broke up with him and left him for a richer man. So, of course, he's hurt and he doesn't want to go back to her, but his parents think that that's the best person for him. Now, he's saying that's not going to happen, but he's asking that, do I get to now marry her without their blessing? Do I marry her without their blessing? The reason this approval or blessing, call it what you will, is more important to him than ever is because he knows that by the time he leaves Nigeria now and goes back to Canada for work because he got a job there, he's not going to come back to Nigeria in the next couple of years. So he might not see his parents anytime soon. So he's saying this because he knows that if they give their blessing, at least he knows that he would have that. And then maybe they will come over for the wedding, or maybe he will come back to Nigeria with his wife for the wedding and he'll be able to get to see them again. But without this blessing, it kind of changes things. So he's asking, what do I do? Do I marry her without their blessing? On Facebook live stream, Yahaya Rabi Tinitopa is saying, let them pray on it and we will direct them. Let them pray on it and God will direct them, I believe. And by them, I think he's referring to Dave and his girlfriend. So this is a very tricky one. There's no doubt about that. But with the remaining time we have left, I'd like to know your thoughts on this one. What do you think? Do you think this is a crazy situation, and do you think it would be stupid of him to get married without his parents' approval? Or do you think this is something that he can do without his parents' approval? I would like to know why you think either thought. I'm going to read this message, and this one is coming in from Promise B3 from Mile 12. Promise B3 is saying, my dear, love conquers all. You see, this society has structured our minds to take some things in an unusual way. If a woman is respectful to a man, the age difference would not be a barrier. In the case of a lady reaching her menopause, she and her man can adopt a child. There is no cause for alarm. He should go ahead and marry her. And that's coming from Promise B3 from Mile 12. So initially I stated that one big reason why this age factor is a big issue would be because she's 45 now in 2022. In 2023, she's going to be 46, nearing close to 50. And that would be an issue if she hits menopause early. That's if she's not already hit menopause. And if she's hit menopause, then it would be difficult for her to have children. This is not to say that it can't happen, because crazy things happen every day. Miracles happen every day. But it doesn't mean, medically speaking, it would be a bit difficult, a bit more difficult than it would be if she were younger. So, Promise is saying, if that's an issue, then they can always adopt a child, as long as both of them are okay with it, and both of them understand that that's a risk. So, if Dave is on board with it, if she is on board with it, then they can make their choice and go ahead with it, knowing that they might never have biological children. And then maybe this is another reason why I have biological children. And then maybe this is another reason why Dave's parents are of the opinion that he should not marry her. So the age is a thing, and then maybe the children factor is also another thing. So, what do you think? Should he go against his parents' wishes and marry her? The school of thought says go against your parents' wishes and marry her because that's what you want, that's what makes you happy. Some people say don't do that. Some people say talk to them, make them understand the true reason why you want to go with this woman that they seemingly don't want. Actually, not seemingly, they really don't want this woman. I mean, for obvious reasons that I've stated already. So he's saying, that particular school of thought is saying, make them understand, and if they still don't agree, then you may need to make a very drastic decision. Another school of thought is saying, pray. Because if you don't pray enough and you're not 100% sure of your decision, you might make a mistake at the end of the day because your parents might turn out to be right. And if they are right, then you've ruined things for yourself and for this lady in question. Another school of thought is saying do it without them and go on with your choice. There are a bunch of different things that have been said tonight. I can't remember all of them, but I want to hear what you think as we wrap up. So we're rounding off very soon. At this point, I want to take about one more call or two more calls before I go, and I would like to hear from you. What do you think about his story? Do you think that he should go along with this, or do you think that he should not go along with this and marry her? What are your thoughts? 07000 917 917 is the number to call. Sending a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. What do you think? What do you think? Hello, good evening.
Yes, hello, good evening.
Good evening, please. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from Jacksonville Estate.
Okay, Oluwafemi, thank you for calling. Very quickly now, because we're wrapping up. What do you think?
Alright, the young man about to get married and then he's confused. I think marriage goes beyond I love you. Marriage goes beyond I know, honestly. So if he really wants to get married and have an happy home, number one, he has to see the face of God first. He wants no one God is saying concerning his marriage. So when he saw and God has spoken to him, say, okay, go from Mrs. A or B and any other decision or any other opinion is by the way. But if he refuses to do that, and he doesn't pursue the marriage based on love and all of that, and the person doesn't compare to his destiny, it should be a huge problem.
That's right.
Because there are some people you cannot fulfill destiny and you can be in love with them. So the question and the most paramount thing is that you should see the face of God. Say, God, what is your take on this? Who should I go for? If God has spoken to him, it doesn't matter whether the person has broken his that same time. That one doesn't mean anything. But let him get here from God. That's the truth. If not, you have issues.
All right.
Hello?
Thank you so much. I hear you. Thank you so much, Oluwafemi. And that's our final caller for tonight. And as much as I know that you might still be interested in calling and you might want to share your thoughts, this is what we call it today on Adult Conversations Tonight. We have had a long conversation and more importantly, a very open conversation because this one is very tricky. But this doesn't change the fact that the end result lies in the hands of Dave. He's the one who will decide what he wants to do at the end of the day. He will decide who he wants to go with at the end of the day. Now, the truth is, it might be a difficult decision, but at the end of the day, if he goes with the right person, that he knows for a fact that his heart wants and God wants for him, then he's definitely not going to make a mistake. So I have to say thank you so much for all your advice tonight, and I appreciate every single part of it. I'm sure that Dave will be able to take an informed decision based off of the advice that you've given tonight. On behalf of Dave, I say thank you so much for spending time with us tonight, and thank you for your opinions. I thank you again, and I hope you will join me tomorrow, Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m., same station, WFM 91.7, and of course, same program, Adult Conversations. Thank you very much to my engineers on duty. My name is Sunto Titilayo Ajama. Have a lovely night.
Somebody save me. So many things going on. If I tell you it's wrong, don't leave me lost in space. Show me, show me you really love me. Show me you really care. Show me how when I'm crying, you will always be there. Show me that I can trust you. I don't need to be scared. Let's just go all this place. So I know I'll always have you here. I don't know where to go. I'm running on this circle, I'm just loving my God.